So basically what I discovered is that building up these pipelines takes a lot of time. And I was watching some YouTube videos about app development, how some people like apps built by one single person, they kind of their philosophy on building apps and things like that. And I would consider this not necessarily like a customer facing app in the App Store, but it's similar. It's like a product. Anyway, their philosophy is kind of shipping the MVP, so the minimum viable product, the smallest kind of thing that you can put out into the marketplace. And the reason for that is to validate the idea, so that they're not wasting time building something that nobody wants to buy, which I think is obviously a smart thing to do. And so I was getting inspired by these app builders or whatever app developers, and they were talking like, building the app is super important, but the marketing, and they were marketing on TikTok, organic TikTok ads, and they were doing, I mean, they're doing consumer stuff, so maybe it's a little bit different, but they were doing marketing like user, I can't remember the exact acronym, but basically where it's like user created content. So the TikTok ad looks like as if it was a normal TikTok, or looks like it was a normal post created organically by a normal person, but in actuality, it's obviously an ad. I'm not so sure if that really applies to what I'm doing here, but that's what they were mostly talking about, was the most effective ads to run. And there's a lot of great videos on that, and channels and things like that. Now, that aside, the main thing that I think I'm going to have to focus on, I'm going to have to shift gears, is creating that minimum viable product. Because building out one pipeline, it takes some time. It takes more time than it needs to. And so this is like basically week 3 of building out this new product. And the timeline that I'm looking to, if I'm going to build what I planned out in the previous videos, it's going to take a couple months to build. And I want to ship an MVP faster than that, so I'm thinking that I'm going to minimize the scope quite a bit. And then start marketing, start doing prospecting potentially, um, with the minimum viable product. And I'm thinking that, Shopify, it's number one because that's revenue. And then Google Ads is number two because that is uh, what people are spending their money on. So I'm going to focus on those two data sources. Maybe, maybe throw in Facebook ads, but I'm not sure. Facebook organic, I think I'm going to have to sideline that for now, um, for not to be in the V1. The V1, I think it's going to be just Shopify. It's going to be Google Ads and Shopify. And then there's more data sources, but I need to consider which ones I can easily set up for this MVP. Now, I think once I set up the Shopify and Google pipeline workflow and set everything up and build out the whole dashboard, then from there, probably adding in new data sources is like kind of a streamlined effort. Not completely streamlined, it still takes work, but I mean that I have the foundation built from end to end, and now I can just kind of implement as needed and add in things as needed. So I think that's the best approach for now, is minimizing the scope so that I can ship the MVP and start marketing it, because I need to have something before I start marketing and prospecting. You can't just do that with nothing. And that's kind of the idea. That's the update. It's a lot of work to build even one pipeline. Um, and so that's kind of where we're at. I did build that one. I made the video about it, and then I'm still working through that. So it's going to take some time. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to really say, but yeah.